Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone of Ruwa, and Shalom to all the brothers doing work, sincerity and truth. Yeah. Got this article on Reuters, kind of showing how China and Russia are more or less they're essentially doubling down on resisting really, the American sphere of influence, like EU and NATO sphere of influence. It's like both of them have got their kind of eyes on different regions. China's looking at Taiwan, Russia's looking at Ukraine, and they're basically, applying pressure and more or less are not heeding the West. So yeah, it shows the whole wedge between them that's already been built up. So it's it's gonna be real straightforward for for it to escalate into actual warfare once once it's that time, and it's really gonna be around interests, and that's where the Middle East comes in the most, because both like Taiwan and Ukraine, that shit is in like China's and Russia's backyard. The West ain't really got the angle to come from with those, but the Middle East, there's the least of the flock, the state of Israel there, to draw them out into it. So it says China, Russia partner up against West at Olympics summit. So it says China and Russia on the opening day of the Winter Olympics declared a no limits partnership, backing each other over standoffs on Ukraine and Taiwan, with a promise to collaborate more against the West. President Xi Jinping hosted President Vladimir Putin on Friday, as the two nations said their relationship was superior to any Cold War era alliance, and they would work together on space, climate change, artificial intelligence, and control of the internet. So yeah, it's they're playing, they're being the opposition. So it says Beijing reported Russia's demand that Ukraine should not be admitted into NATO, as the Kremlin amasses 100,000 troops near its neighbor, while Moscow opposed any form of independence for Taiwan, as global powers jostle over their spheres of influence. So it says friendship between the two states has no limits. There are no forbidden areas of cooperation, the two countries said in a joint statement. The timing of their announcement was highly symbolic, as China hosted Olympics that the United States has subjected to a diplomatic boycott. The agreement marked the most detailed and assertive statement of Russian and Chinese resolve to work together to build a new international order based on their view of human rights and democracy. Putin used the occasion to trumpet a new gas deal with China worth an estimated $117 billion, promising to ramp up Russia's Far East exports. Yeah, gas deal as well. And I think that one's still going through with the one with Germany. So it says the United States hit back, saying Xi should have used the meeting to push for lowering of tensions in Ukraine. Such an approach is what the world expects from responsible powers, the U.S. State Department's top diplomat for East Asia, Daniel Crittenbrink, said. If Russia further invades Ukraine and China looks the other way, it suggests that China is willing to tolerate or tacitly support Russia's efforts to coerce Ukraine. And of fucking course they are, because it's the same shit with Taiwan, and that's what. But it's because all that shit is just is like the lip service. It's what you see on the surface, what you're gonna see in the newspapers, on the headlines. Like, oh, you should be Meanwhile, you look at the U.S.'s history, and the U.S. just does things behind closed doors. That's why Julian Assange, that guy's trying to not get himself sent to America because he'll be thrown into it. He'll be getting suplexed and waterboarded and fucking electroshock therapied in what the hell is it called, Guantanamo Bay, man. with no with no chance of release, man. That guy's gonna be getting obliterated, man. Um, Moscow denies it's planning an invasion of Ukraine. That's the thing as well. It's like Russia's not doesn't even need to rush in because like they've already they already done it once. Them men can take their time. It's like that's something that's been blown up by the what do you call it? By the the media in the West saying like, oh, these guys are about to jump in. But we know they need the that Karagma, man. That Karagma needs to be brought in before that Third World War can blast off. So it says Daniel Russell, the Asia Society think tank, who served as U.S. State Department's top diplomat for East Asia in the Obama administration, said Xi and Putin were announcing their determination to stand together, to stand against the U.S. and the West, ready to withstand sanctions and contest American global leadership. While not formally allied, the two are making common cause as a tactical matter to better defend their respective interests and their authoritarian systems of Western pressure, he said. Yeah, and it's that's those alliances. That's how world wars start. Because two countries get in a skirmish, and that's the thing. That's why it's like if Ukraine was to join NATO, then that would basically be, and that's more or less why why Russia's putting the pressure on, because if Ukraine joins NATO, then that basically means when Russia decides to to finish the job and invade and take the rest of it, then he's gonna have to deal with all the allies of NATO, the whole Western world, which there is no desire to do. So as such, that's why put the pressure on to stop that happening, and then you can take your time and do it when you desire. But it says what it's ready to withstand and contest American global leadership, which is the main thing. The main thing is America is on its last legs, and now everyone's jockeying for position. Everyone's trying to get into a position where they're like, okay, we're gonna take over next, because these guys are they they ain't trying to respect Yahweh Shai when he returns. They ain't trying to be like, okay, Yahweh Shai's gonna return. Let's prepare the way. They're just basically trying to make it happen where they can take over. They get to be in prominence, but they ain't gonna work out. Obadiah 1:6 says, "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee." Yeah, all the men of thy confederacy. That's how it's gonna go for Esau, mainly America. All those who are at peace, all those who are allied, they're gonna flip and switch it on them. And that's really what you're seeing. It's like with China, really with most nations, when they don't have any kind of capabilities, when their economy's slacking, their military slacking, whatever, they'll basically have to deal with America on whatever terms they throw at them. They're forced to. But then what now? Now they're basically got themselves into a position where they can do as they desire, then they're throwing that in the bin. That's what's happened with like China and Russia. They're just like, yo, fuck you guys. You guys have been taking a piss. And that's the funny thing they have. They have like Esau's really been running away in America anyway. They basically just been doing whatever they desire, and everyone else has just been having to deal with it. But then what? All those that have a bone to pick with America, once the capability's there, they're gonna flip. Says, and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Yeah, even even China. China, the reason they got such prominence is basically through America. But then what? Now they're looking to fucking set themselves up. So it says, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau shall be cut off by slaughter. And that's how it's going to go down. And that's the thing is even because the Russians, the Edomites as well, them guys are going to be taken out as well. It's basically going to be that massive scale war where all these sides are going to deplete each other. Then Yahushua is going to make his return and basically finish it off and seal the deal, man. Calf by Sword says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Yes, it's a judgment. It's a fulfillment of Esau being finished, man. Because his role, his job, was to be that wicked, and to bring about this time where wickedness is as high at a never before seen level of prominence. As such, then what? It's gonna be done, man. But that's all these so-called allies, they're gonna flip. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom.